Hey, it's Kevin. Thanks so much for stopping by another No BS social media chat. Today we're talking about scheduling. And I'm not talking about scheduling updates in advance and things like that. What I'm talking about is setting time frames with people. The reason I thought about this today, a couple weeks ago, an artist that I used to work with posted some cryptic picture on Instagram, on Facebook, and I think they even posted Twitter, say, big news coming tomorrow. Well, they wanted to build a buzz. The problem was, well, they may have built a buzz, but they didn't tell people when to stop by tomorrow. And if they really believed that people were going to stop what they were doing and worry about what's going on with them, whether it was a new single release, whatever it was, again, that doesn't really matter because it wasn't that big a deal. Well, you're foolish. When I was in radio, the one thing we try to really stress over the years, a long time ago, we used to just tease things. And you figure the longer you tease people, the further they'll stay along. And we learned as people got busier, as life changed, as we got smarter, that wasn't the case at all. If you want somebody to show up, you tell them when to show up. If you want to tease something, say, I'm going to do this in 10 minutes, and then you do it in 10 minutes. If you say, we'll do it this afternoon at 4:05, you do it at 4:05 that afternoon. But you make appointments with people because it builds some anticipation. It builds some excitement. You can talk about it all day, and then 4:05 comes, and you play it off. Here, tomorrow, check out tomorrow, and I'll tell you all the big news. Well, you know what? What if people don't see it? What if people don't know what time? And they may go back by once. I went back 2 or 3 times throughout the day and never saw it before it finally came up. And I was just at that point throwing my hands up going, you know what? To heck with y'all. But in terms of scheduling appointments with people, there's another part of scheduling that comes in too. Anytime you have a big announcement, make sure you announce it when the majority of your people are going to be following, whatever day of the week it is, whatever time of the day it is. And here's the question. How do you know that? Practice and testing the waters. Like I said, I talked before, I had an artist I worked with, a multi-platinum artist at one time who I worked with, that we found that if we really had some big announcement, whether they're going to be on a TV show, whether they had a new song, whether they had something cool, a big concert announcement, whatever it was, it had to be done between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning, Central Time, because that would really hit their sweet spot. That would hit the majority of their fan base. Anytime we did an announcement outside of those time frames, the engagement, the amount of, retweets on Twitter, the amount of shares on Facebook, the amount of likes, the amount of comments weren't quite as much. And we figured that was their sweet spot. So we knew anytime we had an announcement between about 7 and 9, it didn't have to be the same time all the time. We'll just, and it wasn't even that you were going to do it, tomorrow morning we'll do it, and that would work. Or you could say tomorrow morning, again, when you're dealing with people all over the world, it doesn't necessarily make sense with giving them an exact time. But it was important to let them know tomorrow morning, during breakfast, check back by Facebook, check back by the website, whatever it was, for the big announcement. And we had great success with that. Now, sure, it took us, 6 months, maybe even a year to come up with that strategy of playing things around. Another artist I work with, we post a lot of YouTube videos with her. And we were changing the day of the week we post them. We were changing the time. We started them out, let's post them on Sundays. Well, Sundays didn't get a lot of traffic, so then we moved them to Thursdays. And again, every situation is different. No matter what business you're in, no matter what you do with social media, your audience uses social media differently. One of the gaming companies I work with talks about that, he sees that social media just isn't as active for them on Friday. And I went through and I went, I don't know about that. And he was right. Wednesday and Thursday tend to be a little bit more active for them. So we know anytime we've got a cool video or something to announce, we're going to do it on a Wednesday or Thursday. Now, we haven't honed in yet because they don't have a huge fan base yet. We haven't honed in on when the exact sweet spot is, if there is such a thing as a sweet spot. And again, sweet spot is relative because, if you're posting something at 7 o'clock your time, well, let's say it's 7 o'clock my time, Central's time zone, that's 8 o'clock in the Eastern time, and it's 6 o'clock Mountain, and it's 5 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you do it a little bit closer to 8, and then that gets you to 6. So you got to experiment. You got to play around, and it takes time. Everybody wants the optimum amount of engagement. They want to schedule those things and know when they're going to do them and know when to target for them and get the maximum amount of response, the maximum amount of engagement, the maximum amount of results. And you don't find that out without experimenting and practicing and paying attention to the data. I spend so much more time doing statistics than I ever thought I would. My math teachers would be proud, I guess, because the statistics tell me lots of different things, and I really dig into those little numbers. And Facebook gives you some, and Twitter can give you some, but there are lots of tools that'll help you out just a little bit, not fully, because there are no absolute answers. And again, every time you keep adding fans, you keep adding friends, you keep adding followers, Well, the data shifts. It changes. So you've got to be aware of that. You've got to watch out for that. Think about your scheduling of events, activities, things, and make sure you plan accordingly for your fans' sake and for your sake. Another No BS chat next week, nobssocial.com. Of course, you can find us online too. You want to find me? Well, here, all my information coming up right now. Stop by for another video next week. And thanks so much.